Wherever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Reverend Dr. Michael Gott wrote that song, and he taught one of our classes in ministerial school, and he said he wrote it when he received what we call the call to ministry. And so it's one of those songs that always gives me chills to hear it. I love that, knowing the reference to it and so forth. So I'm sure when you walked in today, you were a little surprised at how the room looks. Yeah, You never can tell what you're going to get into when you come here. So we are doing what we call a workshop Sunday. And this is going to be a workshop that's based on information that comes from my new book. What is it? Upside Down. Mindfulness and Money Magic. I told you, it's too much caffeine already this morning. So this is a compilation of a few activities in there that we're going to do today as we move through this idea of abundance. I'm calling this talk Abundance Reimagined. Abundance Reimagined. So how many of you grew up hearing something like, we don't talk about politics, religion, or money? Anybody familiar with that? Or some version of it? How's that working in our world right now? I'm thinking we need to do a little more talking about religion and politics and money in our world right now to move through some of our challenges. But we're going to take a look at of how we can look at our mindset around money and see if we can shift some of that to this amazing new process that I discovered about a year ago. It's called neurographics, and it's about reprogramming our brains to get to a different experience in our life. I found it to be very effective, and so we're going to do a modified version of that as part of our work today. So let's just start with a little bit of the background behind this. Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, we cannot demonstrate abundance while thinking of lack. We cannot demonstrate abundance while thinking of lack. If we are out there in the world and we've got this kind of background noise about money issues or fear around that or anything that's going on in our life about money, it's hard for us to demonstrate abundance in any area. We could be looking for something more in our life like a better health or better relationships or any of the things that we are wanting to enhance in our lives. But if we've got this background noise going on about lack and limitation, it's very hard to move through that because we know that all of these ideas around health, love, prosperity, wisdom, clarity, whatever we want to bring into our lives, it's all tied together. When we take our classes and when we talk among ourselves as practitioners, we call these ideas God qualities because these are absolute qualities of the divine. We know that abundance is a quality of the divine. Wealth is a human quality. But abundance, we can see evidence of it everywhere we look. There's not one place that we can go outside of this building and not see 20 different demonstrations of abundance. Right now, looking out the window, I see leaves. And I have seen more leaves than I could ever possibly begin to count. That's a demonstration of abundance. We look in the clouds in the sky. That's a demonstration of abundance. It's an absolute quality, and it's a quality of the divine. Other qualities of the divine that we talk about would be things like love. Love is absolute pure, that there's no love and hate, there's just love in spirit. And so anything else that appears to be other than that is our limited thinking about it. And so as we begin to work through these ideas and change how we think about things, we change the experience that we have in our lives. One of my favorite books about prosperity and abundance is written by Eric Butterworth, who was a Unity minister. It's called Spiritual Economics. And in there he says, there is only one way by which we can achieve prosperity. It is to take charge of our minds. Our minds can go crazy on us. They can go rampant on us and just go off on a tangent. Anybody ever got to that place where you're thinking of something, you're thinking, how in the world did that come to my mind? I love to try to backtrack and figure out how I got to that place in my life, though I'm thinking about this thing right here. But if we take charge of our minds, then we can begin to have a different experience. And so the first part of our workshop here is to actually begin to take charge of that. And we do that by setting an intention. Now, you have some worksheets on your table there where you can take notes, or you can just do this mentally. It's up to you there. When we set intentions, we are putting into action that which we want to experience in our lives. And so one of the things about money is sometimes we are very hesitant to actually name it, to name the amount that we want. I've recently been taking a class with one of our most profound money masters in Science of Mind, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis, and she was just saying to us, put down the amount. Why are you afraid to claim that amount for yourself? If you want to have a new car, go onto the websites, figure out how much that new car is, and put that into your intentions. If it's $50,000, then put $50,000. If it's $10,000, put $10,000. Don't be hesitant to do that. So right now, as you think about your life, how much money would you like to bring into your life right now? And set an intention for that. I am bringing blank into my life right now. And you can put in there for whatever reason if you want to. But write yourself an intention. Right now, claim what it is that you want. If you want to go on a vacation, let's make it a grand vacation. Give yourself some extra bonus there. If you want to have an experience of whatever it is in your life that you're wanting to bring in, if you want to remodel your kitchen, put in the amount that you want to remodel your kitchen. But claim for yourself that amount. Don't hem and haw around it. Let's be bold with this. Come on in. We got plenty of room. I'm even pleased that nobody has to have their back to me today. That's even better. I was a little worried about that part. Okay. So the second part of this is to look at what our current beliefs are around money. As I said at the beginning, sometimes we're hesitant to talk about this. Sometimes we're hesitant to look about it because that's a dirty subject over there, money. We don't want to talk about money. We don't want to talk about all that stuff. Let's just push it away. But let's think about that. I've given you some prompting questions on your worksheet there that might help you think about money in your life here. Come on. All right, why are we not going? So, what did you hear about money growing up? Who influenced you greatest about money in your life? Who's been your biggest teacher? Do you believe that making money is easy or hard? Why? How do you feel when you open up your bank account and look at that amount? And do you think talking about money is taboo? And do you believe you have to work extremely hard to make good money? Take a moment here. Think about that. You can jot down any notes you like to, or just keep it in the back of your mind. What are those beliefs? If we don't examine our beliefs, they have a tendency to work on us in ways that we're not aware of. So it's important to think about them. while those beliefs are fresh in your mind right now, things that you've grown up believing about money, things that you have had from experiences you've had with money, pull out that blank sheet of paper that's on your table there. And you need your black marker for this. And so we're going to make a symbolic scribble about our hidden beliefs. And you're only going to take about 2 seconds to do this. I don't want it to cover the whole page, because I know some of us have a lot of hidden beliefs. I just want this to be a few of them here. And so it's going to look something like this. I'll demonstrate it here for you. So like I said, just take like 2 seconds and scribble on your paper. Okay? Just put a scribble on there. It can go lap over itself, whatever you want to do. Just put a scribble on your paper. 2 seconds, 3 seconds max. Scribble on your paper. Just a scribble. Okay. That represents, sorry about that, Joe. That represents our old thinking about money. That scribble does. All right, so now we're going to start and look at reframing that, changing how we think about it. So, what are some statements that you could say to yourself to help you reframe that? Generally, when we talk about things like this, we talk about them in the form of affirmations. Now, affirmations are generally short, positive, personal. They use powerful or passionate words in them to help us begin to shift our thinking around them. We make it positive because our brain can't process negatives. If you say, I don't want to experience this, all our brain hears is, I want to experience this. Okay? We have to begin to shift what it is we want to experience. I experience prosperity in all areas of my life. Powerful affirmation there. It's personal. I'm using the word I. Experience. It's happening right now. It's in the present tense. It's positive. I didn't put any negative words in there. Prosperity. That kind of brings some emotion for me. Prosperity is a good word for me. In my life right now. I'm claiming it now. It's happening. And so there's some power there for me. So begin to think about what you've written down for what you want and what might be blocking you from those hidden beliefs, and write a couple of statements about how you can begin to shift that. Again, use I words. Don't even use we. We hems and haws around it too. Use I. Claim it for yourself. If other people get to experience it, that's great, but claim it for yourself. Write it on, you can write it on your paper, on the one with the lines, not on the scribble. Okay. Yeah. Or you can just keep them in your mind. You don't have to even write them down if you don't want. But write down a couple of things that you can use as affirmations to shift your thinking around money. Money flows into me easily and effortlessly. That's a good one. I am filled with infinite abundance. I get tickled when I look at my bank account. Life flows greatly through all aspects of my being. Think of words that make something happen inside of you. Something that gives you a little bit of like, ooh, that's a good one. I like to call those juicy words. Find the juicy words that actually evoke some kind of feeling in you. Okay, after you have a couple of them down, pull out your paper with the scribble on it again. And now we're going to make some intentional lines. We're not just going to scribble. we're going to make some intentional lines that intersect with our hidden belief. This represents our hidden beliefs, this scribble. So I'm going to make some intentional lines to intersect it. Like, for instance, I am filled with prosperity in all areas of my life. Abundance flows through me greatly. I am filled with joy and love. Doesn't matter if they're straight or crooked. Make some intentional lines over your scribble. No, just the lines on this. Okay, all you need is a couple of them on there. You can add more as you're moving through this process and you're on your own. But now, here's the magic of this process. Wherever an intentional line intersects with a hidden belief, there's a conflict. So we have to smooth out our conflicts. And we do that by rounding the corners. So watch up here. This was my hidden belief line. This was my intentional line. I'm going to round the corner. And I'm going to smooth it out. Okay? And I'm going to round this corner because it's another conflict in that. And I'm going to smooth it out. Okay? Round it. Smooth it out. Okay? So now I don't have a conflict there anymore. If it helps you, think about what those lines represented. Your hidden beliefs and your new statement of intention. But find the places where you have corners and round the corners. Just do a couple of them for right now. Round your corners. That's taking a look at the conflict between what we have been internalized as our beliefs about it and what the new thinking is that we want to bring into our experience. You want to wind up with something that looks kind of like what's on the screen now, where you've rounded out some of those conflicts. Now you notice I didn't do all of them that's on this screen here because as we do the process and sit with it, it usually takes me a few hours to do one of these neurographic designs because I sit with it and I let those ideas come up. And as new thoughts come up, I create new lines to put on my paper, new beliefs that I'm wanting to bring into my experience here. So just round a couple of them, and then we'll move to the fun part of this. Well, not that this hasn't been fun, but, more fun. Because it's always fun with crayons. So what you're going to do now is begin to color it. To create some color in there. Now, this is one that I happened to do when I was dealing with, remember back a few months ago when I blew my knee out? So this is the one I did for my knee. Bringing in some positive ideas, taking a look at my limited thinking, and then bringing in some positive affirmations around that. And so you have crayons on your table. You have 6 colors. You get to take these home with you, by the way. The colors can represent different ideas here. So I've got a little chart here about some of the things. You also have it on your handout there. Generally, green represents growth, prosperity, financial abundance. Yellow is usually talking about joy, optimism, feeling really good. A blue, calmness, stability, trust. Red, energy, action, confidence in financial matters. Purple, wisdom, wealth, and empowerment. And orange, creativity, enthusiasm, and a positive relationship with money. Choose one of those colors you've got in your box and just begin to color in. I didn't bring any crayons up, but just begin to color in a space that is not colored there. And as you're doing so, look at your thinking. If those negative thoughts start coming back up as you're coloring, put your crayon down, grab your black marker, and find a corner to round. Because there's a conflict that's happening with you if the negative thoughts are coming back up, you've got some kind of conflict in your thinking. So start rounding corners again. For me, it's a process of coloring, rounding, drawing more lines, coloring, rounding, as I was doing this neurographics work here. I did one of my soul crafters, I think, last fall on neurographics. It was really quite a powerful experience. Little fun music, all right. Okay, we are not going to have time to finish this up, which is why you get to take your crayons and markers and papers home with you. Please take them home, work on this some more, take a look at your thinking around it. And you can shift this to any idea that you're working with right now. As I said, the one that I showed you was about my knee. I was having that challenge with my knee. I don't even have to have surgery anymore. It's doing really good. So, I think this is a powerful process. If you're interested, neurographics comes from a psychologist in Russia. It's been around for about 15 years. Last summer, I took a workshop I guess it was summer before that. I took a workshop from them on doing this process. And a lot of their focus for the neurographics is about abundance and prosperity, about changing how we view our abundance in our lives and how we can bring more prosperity in. So it's a powerful process. Take it home. Spend some time with it. It's a great meditation. It's a great technique for working on that. Like I said, the markers, crayons, and papers are yours to take home with you. If you don't want to take them home, we'll collect them in the back there. But anyway. All right. So we're going to move into prayer right now because prayer is always a powerful practice. And so if you want to continue to color, you're okay. That's all right. We can pray and color at the same time. I'm going to ask the practitioners to stand, though. Our practitioners hold us in prayer throughout the week. If you have any prayer requests, please submit them, and we will be happy to hold that in prayer for you throughout the week. These beloveds spend at least 4 years learning the principles and the practices that we use here at Center for Spiritual Living. So if you would, just simply take in a nice deep breath. Let that out. And so right here and right now, I know that there is only one power, one presence, one divine, creative source of all. This one goes by many names. It shows up in infinite incarnations. I simply know it as that presence of love, of peace, of joy and harmony. I know that it is infinite in its manifestation. It is abundant in all areas. It is that power of love that moves through each and every one of us. I know it resides right at the heart of my being. I know that that presence is in me. It's showing up as me. It's moving through me as I go about my day. I know that every place I stand is a holy ground because I know that that presence is right there within me. And as I know this is true for me, I know this is true for each one of us. For we are all that unique and perfect manifestation of a love so powerful it could do nothing but create more of itself. And so knowing this truth, I know that each one of us is that place where God shows up. And I know that God shows up beautifully and perfectly and easily through each one of us. I know that everything that we do in our lives is a product of that divine incarnation moving itself into expression in our experience. And so I know that we are filled with that abundance of the divine. I know that we see evidence of it everywhere we look. I know that we feel it in our lives, that it shows up so perfectly in all that we are and all that we do. And I am so grateful to know this. I'm so grateful to feel it. I'm so grateful to know that it is happening for each and every one of us. And so I release this word into the law, into that creative mind that always says yes. I let it go and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is.